meant to like skip. Oh yeah, I made a mistake. Realized, didn't know. I should go that way. Um, so what I wanted to do there was to check if so what I would do is check if Tailscale is installed, and it does not use a which command, and it registers the result into like Tailscale binaries, and it doesn't. Yeah, it won't do anything if Tailscale is installed. However, if Tailscale is not installed, then it will install Tailscale using the shell module. It would basically run this command, and once installed, this RC binary, Tailscale binary, which is the Tailscale binary that we register over here, would switch to a one. Sorry, we switch to a we'll switch to a 1. So if the Tailscale binary is not 0, that means yes, we can install Tailscale. However, in this case, I already have Tailscale installed, So it's just skipping the installation for Tailscale itself, right? And then it's starting the Tailscale service using the built-in systemd service. That would use some like systemctl Tailscale systemctl start Tailscale, and then it would check if Tailscale is authenticated. On my machine currently, I have Tailscale authenticated, so um, um, yeah, that's what this is gonna do. And then on this one, we are authenticating Tailscale with the authentication key. So uh, initially, we're supposed to pass in a Tailscale flag, which is the flags that we pass in when we want to authenticate Tailscale. Is either Tailscale starter, sorry, Tailscale sudo Tailscale op //ssh / accept routes if you have Tailscale subnets configured. And there's also one more. There's one accept something about DNS. I forgot what it was. Let me try and see if I can remember. Tailscale, is it DNS or something? Don't know. Let's just do that. Let's do a Tailscale DNS. Yeah, accept DNS is this command. You will do a Tailscale op, accept DNS equals to true, SSH, and accept route equals to true. But the main goal of this playbook is to run it in my Ubuntu server, because I already have this configured in my Nix Flake, so I don't really need a playbook for Nix because Nix is declarative by nature. However, for my new server that I just provisioned, Proxmox, I don't have Tailscale installed on it, so I need to be able to um, install Tailscale without having to do like a manual process, like after each like Ubuntu servers. So that's why I'm writing the playbook. And initially, I have a DNS, I have a Tailscale DNS that Tailscale subnet that I am exposing to my other tailnet. So that's why I need the accept routes to be true, which I'm possibly going to add to my command, and I need SSH because I SSH to within my telnet using Tailscale, and I need accept DNS to be true because I have a ArtGuard name server, and my ArtGuard name server is connected so my ArtGuard DNS is connected to my Tailscale name server, so the traffic goes through my every traffic coming through my internet have to go through ArtGuard through Tailscale, right? So if accept DNS is false, then the server using the server would be unable to access the services on my telnet because the services are routing through my local DNS through Tailscale. So these are basically the flags that are meant to be added, and we have an alt key, which is the Tailscale authentication key that we would use to authenticate the server with Tailscale. But in some cases, I just don't need to authenticate. But if we want to authenticate with the alt key, then we have to parse in the alt key. We check Tailscale starters in here, and when Tailscale starters.rc is not equal to 0, meaning if we have a result from Tailscale starters and the alt key is defined, then we can run the command to authenticate. And then in this case, we might want to authenticate without Tailscale or without the alt key. Then we could use the authenticate and configure Tailscale with alt key command, which is just Tailscale up and the personal flag, and that would basically authenticate without the alt key, and that will only happen if the alt key is not defined. And yeah, that's basically what this is going to do. In my case, I need to know, since I want to test this and I don't want to mess up with my Tailscale flags, I need to check what flag that I'm using. So Um, I'm using. Uh, there should be a way for me to check my. Let me. Sorry, let me see. Um, D1 check. I think still skills. There's decent. Right. So um. Oh, my bad. Don't know why I did that though. Um. So what I wanted to do was what I wanted to do is like check what current flag it is that I have configured on my my tail scale, so that because when I run the command to authenticate without the tail scale key, this would mess up with the other ones that I've got, and I don't want to mess it up. So I'm possibly not going to be running the command, but I'll just assume that it's been configured. Uh, I would love to run it on my Ubuntu server, like the one I just provisioned, but I need to kind of like make some changes to the inventories. So yeah, let's just see. I might actually, eventually run it there. But let's make sure that we fix the issues that we've got for now. The when and the become should be, yeah, should be that way. And register when false. Yeah, looks like we are good on this end. Let's just do GCC fix issue with fix formatting issues. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now is I need to create an inventory for my Ubuntu server actually. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to log into my Proxmox. So I have this Proxmox node and I just provision a Ubuntu virtual machine. Sorry, it's not a virtual machine, it's a LXC container, and I forgot what the IP address of this is. Anyways, yeah, I just provisioned an Ubuntu LXC container, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be installing Tailscale on this with the Ansible playbook that we've got. So yeah. Let's see. I forgot what the IP is, so I'm just gonna do a nmap. What's the nmap command for? I literally forget. I don't want to expose my IP. Okay. I'm just going to start my LXE. I'm going to wait for it to boot up. Nice. And then we're going to I think I do have 7 should you like 8 but let's run it again. I'm using like the nmap command to scan uh, my gateway just to see what IPs I've got available currently, so I could okay scene because my Proximus was not showing the IP for my container, but now I can see it, so I can see my IP for that container, and just gonna exit this for now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to so this is just a test, so well, let's first SSH to maintain 20. Thought we're in already though. We're not. Ah, my bad. It's not. It's not that. It is I think it is a root. We don't have a user yet. Nice. Very good. So we are in, and what is wrong with the line? Right, so we are in. Right. So yeah. Okay. We for sure don't have tail scale. And what we could do is okay, so now that we have all of that, let's work with the inventory then. Thinking we would have to create a inventory, and then we have localhost, which is mine. Let's create a dev.yaml file, and then the dev.yaml file we contain basically children, and then we would have servers, and then we would have hosts. In this case, the name of our host is, I'm thinking what name should I give it? Let's just give it a root for now. Obviously we need to create a user, and that would be the best in this case, but when I SSH into it, Oh yeah, Ubuntu CT01. Yeah, that's what you should do. Ubuntu CT01, and we're just gonna give it like an um, Ansible host. That would be, let's call it Ubuntu uh, SRV1, like um, let's get Ubuntu SRV1 for now, and that should do for host. And, my bad, what's going on? I usually allocate variables in my playbook, which is the way I keep variables specific to um, you know, environments, like a common variable kind of stuff. So for example, the dev.yaml inventory as a group variable, which is a variable I shared among all dev environment. I just name it all.yaml, and all it includes is basically a environment, and the environment is dev, and then we always have our like other extra variables that I feel like can be shared amongst them. But in this case, I think this is the only thing that needs to be shared. Um, but yeah, I always make sure I keep something called backup enable equals to true. So this is just to make sure that sorry, false. This is just to make sure that I remind myself to always kind of like back up the most important things. So for every server that belongs to the dev environment, they should always have like backup enabled to false. But in terms of production, if I have a production server, then backup enable would be true. So for now, we would just keep it as a false. And yeah, I think we might be alright. So here we have our what I want to do next is have my site.yaml file. Okay. Yeah, so for this one, I usually specify like, um, so in this case, I'm not going to be using localhost, so I'm just going to do a, yeah, inventory, and I have dev. But I'm not sure if inventory. I don't know if I'm. Oh, okay. So that's that about there. It's gonna be inventory dev.yaml because that's what we want to use, and the dev.yaml is what we've already. Let's just do define. Yeah, no, not this one. Dev.yaml is what we define in here. We have Ubuntu server, and then we have the server. I think there's always one more thing that we need to do that I'm not so sure about yet, and I'm wondering what that is. Yeah, that's the site.yaml, and the site.yaml usually contain the host that we want to do this for. In that case, it is Ubuntu. Is it CT01? Not sure. Let's find out. Ubuntu SRV1. Yeah. SRV. Ubuntu SRV01. Nice. What else do we need? There's something missing that I can't seem to wrap my head around. Like start. I know there's something missing. I'm not. Can't really remember what that was really. Yeah, it's the SSH connection. Yep. So we are going to do a SSH connection, and that would be a SSH args, and that would be a control master, and control persist to 0. Interesting. Oh, why is it? Oh my god, my bad. Alright, so right now it's not gonna work because normally I'm supposed to put in the IP address for Ubuntu SRV1, but because I don't want to put the IP address, I'm putting a alias to Ubuntu SRV1. So what I'm supposed to do now is I'm supposed to say that I need to do? Oh yeah, I don't want to expose my IP address, sorry. So I'm going to create a SSH configuration for Ubuntu. I'm just gonna give it Ubuntu. I'm gonna show you. Give me a minute. Let me just do this. Alright, so that's what I want to do. Basically, I have this. I just want to give this. To SRV1, that's what it's going to be called. That's because it already contains the IP, which in this case is 10.10.10.14. It's going to use. So this is going to be quite confusing because I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, sorry. I thought I passed in the root IP root like SSH key, but no, it was the user, so I'm just going to do that. But what I'm sorry, my brain is just not. So it will do a SSH root to the IP address, and that should work. You should do a sudo next attribute switch, so that can apply. I'm just gonna wait for that. Let's see what we've got. The stream's actually going pretty well. I fixed the issue with the lagging eventually. I don't know, I'm starting to enjoy streaming these days. Like I just needed something to make me do things. Like normally I don't really need something to promise me to, work. But because these days I just get super tired after work, and sometimes you just need that push. I thought very stressful day. Alright, so we already created that. Let's test it. We can just do exit from this one. We can do it SSH. Ubuntu SRV1. There we go. It works. So we don't need to specify whatever. Alright, so let's go to GCC and test Ubuntu IP. Okay, before that, we are going to just do this. We're going to say remove after test because we don't want it to persist to do remove after test. Nice. So we're just going to do test for Ubuntu server. Just for Ubuntu CT01 VM LXC. We want to do that. Let's quit that. We don't need this anymore. We don't need you anymore. And I think we're good now. So if we run the command, it should work. We have an Ubuntu SRV1. We have a tailscale role. Yeah, let's see what's second apply. Let's just do a just run tailscale, and that should hit it on the go. So actually, I forgot did I even use a password? I'm coming. I think I used the password when I provisioned this. remember I use it because I provisioned this with Terraform. So let me bring this over here. So you can see this. I have. Let's just move this here. Yes. So I have this, and I think what is it gonna be? Where's LXE variable? Do I have the password? Yeah, the password is password. Yeah, the password is password. Alright, so we're gonna run that again, and we're gonna put a password, which is password. Alright, so something's wrong. So it says unable to parse the dev.yaml file. Alright, so I think before that, I think I know the problem. Yeah, configure overjust for testing. So the problem here is our on config we with the Google parsing it shouldn't be, it should just be like this, I think, and then if that works, right? So is having the problem with the parts to the right. So it says only explicit localhost is available. I already pass in a dev.yaml. Am I doing something wrong? I think I know what the problem is. Like, I shouldn't be like, I think this should do. Still the same thing. So it says new document project playbook. Alright, so there's been a problem. You can see like the parts to the inventory is just not the parts to the inventory, like it's not. I'm having a problem with the part. I'm having a problem with the part. What can I do? I know we have inventory and then it's a problem. Yeah, I'm having a problem with the part. I can't really. Is it just inventory maybe? Let's see how we can fix this. I don't know, honestly. We could run the command and see the inventory. List. So it says we should do this. Alright, so you see what the problem was. That's the comment, right? Like that is not. You should make comments in front of the inventory file because that would cause a problem. So that was basically the problem. There's nothing wrong with. Oh, okay, not code. So if I do inventory and I do, you see it worked. We have observer, we have other ones also, and this also worked. So yeah, it should work. So what we're gonna do is we're going to GCC. We're not gonna do that yet. We're gonna do Ansible. Sorry, we're gonna do just. Could not much supply pattern Ubuntu SRV1. Right, so it's keeping because of the Ubuntu SRV1. SSH Ubuntu SRV01. Ubuntu SRV-1, Ubuntu SRV-01, which is fine. Alright, so the problem here is don't die. I think it also has to be the same. So when we try to run it again, alright, I think now it's working. Food connected. As I said, command line, bug configuration, control persist. That should be in the Ansible. Control persist. Ansible. Issue with this. Let's find out what the issue is. It's because I have a SSH system. Sometimes I didn't spell it well. It's not a. Says this would work, don't know why that did not, but let's see. Right, so where do we have a problem? Yeah, so we don't have Python installed, so we need to install Python on the on the Ubuntu sub. It's new, so I don't think it has Python. Oh, it does have Python. Oh, sorry, I didn't SSH. My bad. Yeah, we don't have Python, by the way. Oh, we do have Python 3. We do have Python 3, so what could be the problem? Sudo apt update. We do have Python 3, and it's probably in a it's a different part, by the way. It's a different part, so it should not be that. It should be. Alright, let's see what we've got. Password. Alright, now it's working. But then it failed again. Enabling start tailscale service. Could not find requested service tailscale. Okay, so before that we fix issue with SSH and Python interpreter. So the problem now is we cannot find tailscale requested service. I think this has something to do with the task for tailscale made the service. It is this one. Enable to become, but that's after it's installed tailscale. That's when it should start the service. But in this case, it jumps to this. So we've got it right. We check if tailscale is installed. We install tailscale. Confirm if tailscale is installed. So if we do a which tailscale, right? So it didn't install tailscale at all. So it just says change. Okay. So it didn't install tailscale at all. It just like skip the installation. Skips the story. Let's run it again and see. Anyway. So I don't get like. Did you install tailscale? It didn't install tailscale at all. So what am I missing here? I'm definitely missing something. Because the only reason this would fail is because tailscale was never installed, so there's no way for it to start tailscale service. scale one. Let's see. Yeah, it's still the same. Obviously camping, so that's not a problem, yeah. What could the problem be? Let's see, what could the problem be? System details skilled. Yeah, the problem is like it's not installing. So So what my research is saying is that tilt scale, like the installation step actually work, but the failure happens because systemd is not seeing the service yet, which I know that's the problem. But then that is because the install script did add the service, but systemd has not reloaded yet, so it's unable to get the service. But when I checked which tilt scale, it didn't show tilt scale as installed. I SSH'd to the service, to the server. Well, I did check, but it's not like yeah. Do I have call? That's a problem. I don't have call. So because I don't have call, it obviously would not. So the Ansible playbook needs an extension just in case. Next time, not every server has curl installed by default, so we are going to we need to install like the prerequisite, which is the dependencies that we would need. And I think this should not be added into this actually, because of modularity. I believe this should be something that should be installed by default on every system. So I have to create a prerequisites, I guess. I'm right. Just then we can say Ansible build in dot apt, and we will install some packages like call and some other one that we might need, which is G. I'll just install call for now because it's important. And then we would say okay, we want the state to be present and we want to update the cache, then we want to become root. So if we have core installed, then that's when all this should be done, right? I don't think I need this really. I'm just gonna do that. We are installing Curl, and we have already installed Curl. Now we're installing Tailscale, which would definitely work. You can see now it's installed in Tailscale, and then it changed, which means it's been installed. And then we can enable the service since it's oh, I failed. Okay, so authenticate and configure Tailscale with hotkey. We're skipping this because we did not provide hotkey. Now I failed in this case because just your opposite edge. It failed because sudo system cd start Tailscale failed to connect to local Tailscale. Doesn't appear to be running. So the system just start Tailscale. Okay, so let's see. I think Tailscale is, we definitely have Tailscale. As you can see, and if we do a Tailscale system ctl status Tailscale, it says failed to start Tailscale agent node. Okay, can we know why? We say journal ctl u Tailscale set 20 to scale 20. I want to know what is the problem. Failed to start tail scale, I don't know why, but if we do a system CTL start tail scale, now if we check, it's working now, unless it fails again. But we do a system CTL status tail scale, and now it's saying failed to start tail scale. No, I don't know why, but there's a problem with so we can see because this is I think I had the same problem with my LXC container for NixOS um, when I provisioned it. I think by default Proxmox you have to like enable this particular tune. So because it cannot find the directory it needs for some of its data, it's failing. So this needs to be kind of like created. So we're gonna fix that. Since this has happened twice, I feel it'd be good to kind of automate this also, so I don't have to go through the same problem next time. Proxmox issues. Yeah, it's Proxmox issue. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So the key error is that in LXC container /dev/net/tune is not available by default. Yes, Tailscale needs to create the tunnel interface, and that's what we need to do. We need to create the tunnel interface. So we have one option is to enable tun in Proxmox container, or we could run Tailscale in like a user space mode. But if we do that, by the way, if we do that, it means we have slow networking and there's no subnet routing, and it's not the best option for servers. So what we have to do now is enable tune in Proxmox container. So get that config, create file, restart CITD. Okay, so we need to first of all get the CITD. So we're just gonna do I'm gonna exit this. And we're gonna SSH to my Proxmox and Amazon 8, and we're going to do PCT list. That will give us the containers that we have, and these are CITD. And then we're going to going to do a, do I have Vim installed? No. Nano slash, just do apt install Vim. Yes, please install Vim, thank you. Now we have Vim, good. Oh my god. etc slash pve slash galaxy slash 101 dot configuration, and that should good. Now what we want to do is edit its configuration and just want to add this once in it. So Galaxy C group equals to device that allow. Okay, and then once we've done that, we just go and save, and we're going to PCT restart 101 when we restart 101. Okay, looks like I have a problem. I remember they changed the config from restart. Just gonna stop. We're gonna stop and we're gonna start again, and that should do it. And let's see. Okay, nice. Looks like it's coming back up, and it has come back up. Interesting. So let's exit this. Let's SSH into 14 back again for him, and let's do a ls-l for dev/net/tune. Okay. Well, it says nobody owns it, which shouldn't be. And, well, that's fine. So we could just do. So I think now it should work. If you do tailscale, if you do systemctl status tailscale. Sorry, it's tailscaled. Now we can see tailscale is running perfectly. Interesting. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to run this again. Password. Please do not fail. It's taking a long time for. Why is it taking so much? It might take too long to finish. Damn it. so I'm trying to run the command manually, just like debug what the problem could be. I think it's waiting for some sort of user um, verification, because I know Tailscale do that. You want you to like log into the browser and authenticate yourself. But because I didn't provide the hotkey, which I'll do later on, really. But let me run the command manually and see. Maybe that's why we're having like a stall. Default. Yeah, Alfredo. Yeah, that's the problem. As you can see, this is where the we have it. This is why we have it installed, because it wants us to like click on this and log in and perform the authentication. So we're just gonna not do that for now. I want us to be able to get this possibly out here, so we could just we don't have to like log in and do whatever. Let's see. When it starts with RC is not equals to 0 and it's not defined, launch this. Yes. So what I'm gonna do is, now I don't know, like, so I'm just going to, there should be a way to get the URL from the server, like as a standard output. Let me see, do I get this as a standard output in Ansible? There should be a way, there should definitely be a way. How can I get this as a standard output in Ansible? Right, so the problem here is Tailscale Up is in interactive mode, so for the first time login or when we use the // operator flag, it always waits for a user input in order to open the URL, just like we can see in here. And that makes Ansible like just hang, because it wants us to like go in and log in ourselves. But ChatGPT says there's two things we could do. We could either generate an auth key file, which I already have, and then pass in the auth key file. So this means that this would be what would run, then we would skip this and jump to this. But because we don't have that for now, we have to in some way get the URL as a standard output. And there's a command to do that, but it says that the process may still hang if it expects like another interactive input. So this kind of process is very messy. To get this as a standard output is very messy. So now let's just see what we can do. We could okay, we could say thank you. We could say after this we could have a name and we call it get Tailscale login URL. I know it's not like ideal for like automation, but it's my own my rules within the command. And then we have a CMD, and then we have actually where's my flag? Here. Good. And that would run, and we would scale login. Where's my tissue? Alright, so we can let's see. Still the same thing. It wants us to still the same thing, still the same thing. We can't get the output. Alright, so let's say using, let's see. The best thing we could do is just add the hotkey, really. But that would be something we do tomorrow using Ansible Vault. So right, what's the problem here? Oh yeah, it's a scale. Nice. Okay. Oh, can we just do this? Let's see. Oh, right, so I didn't show the. This is what the logged out. It didn't contain a URL. That's not cool. Right, so I guess we can only do this if we have the authentication key, by the way. We can't if we don't. So that's all for today, really. And as you can see, we were just messing around with Ansible Playbook, trying to write the playbook to install Tailscale on, an Ubuntu server. And this could work with any other distro that you've got, really. Even NixOS, but if it was NixOS, then you would have to change the Python library part. So in this case, this playbook would not work for NixOS, but it would work for Ubuntu. The main aim is to have a list of default configurations that I need enabled on my LXC and my virtual machines, specifically Ubuntu, LXC and virtual machines, and so I don't have to do them manually each time. I have systemd, I have for managing services, I have Nix for installing Nix language, and I have Tailscale for installing Tailscale. I plan to have a lot more, basically just things that I feel like I need to go into the server to manage. I feel like it would be the best time to automate them and manage them through Ansible. So we basically run the command and everything seems to work fine. We were able to install the prerequisite, we were able to install Tailscale, we were able to validate Tailscale, we were able to use the systemd module to start the Tailscale service. We're also able to check the status of to check the status of Tailscale. Well, we had issue when we wanted to authenticate with Tailscale. We would not have had the issue if we passed in our hotkey, but we would not be doing that today. We'll be doing that tomorrow when we would be using Ansible Vault for security reasons. And because we didn't have the hotkey, we decided to run this command, to authenticate without hotkey, but this puts us in an interactive shell whereby we need to actually click on a link to authenticate with Tailscale, and that made Ansible just stall and not give out a result. So I was looking for a way to, return the URL as a standard output in the Ansible debug, but instead it just returned a logged out. Just returned logged out. So tomorrow we might try to see if that's possible. If it's not, we'll be using Ansible Vault to pass in our key. So that means we'll not be needing this anymore. So if this at work, then the next thing we'll do is just log us in, show us the result of the login, and we'll consider the status of our Tailscale. So for now, we have Tailscale installed, and we have set it, and we have Tailscale running as it should, but we haven't actually authenticated with Tailscale just yet. So we'll be doing that tomorrow today. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a lovely